Hey vegan babes, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is for those nights where you just need something quick and easy on the table. These are the 3 dinner recipes that we've been making on repeat for years because they're obviously insanely delicious, packed with protein, and they take just 20 to 30 minutes to get onto your table. This pasta is one of our favorites because we love a good pesto, and it actually sneaks in an entire bunch of kale into it as well, but you would never be able to tell. I just love recipes where you can get in a ton of sneaky veggies without even knowing it, and this is one of those recipes. We're going to cook the kale until it's nice and wilted. While the kale is wilting, I'm gonna make the protein source, which is gonna be soy curls. You could also do crispy tofu. You could do your favorite plant-based chicken. You could do a plant-based sausage. Today, I'm gonna show you my favorite easy, lazy way to make my soy curls taste like chicken. I'm gonna rehydrate my soy curls in a little bit of vegan chicken broth and let that sit for 5 minutes. After a few minutes, once it's nice and rehydrated, just like this, I'm gonna strain it and squeeze out the excess liquid. Once you've squeezed out the liquid, just cook your soy curls over medium heat in some avocado oil or olive oil and add some poultry seasoning and salt. Just add these to your taste. Then cook for about 10 minutes until there's a nice golden char on them. I like to spread it out flat like this and just kind of leave it for a few minutes so it can get nice and golden. After I get my chicken on, I'm just gonna take out the kale and blanch it in some cold water. Blanching it in cold water really helps give the sauce a super vibrant green color. To save time and dishes, I like to just cook my pasta in the same water that the kale was cooked in. Then you're gonna add all of your kale into a large blender to make the pesto, along with 1 bunch of basil, half a cup of nutritional yeast for cheesiness, 1 to 2 cloves of garlic, depending on how garlicky you like it. I love buying this pre-peeled garlic because I'm lazy and it saves a lot of time. The juice of 1 to 2 lemons, depending on how juicy and big your lemons are. I'm also adding 2/3 of a cup of walnuts and 1/3 of a cup of olive oil. If you wanted this recipe to be a little bit lower in fat, you could swap the olive oil for water and then just add a little bit less walnuts. I like a really high fat pesto sauce, and I find personally that I can still reach my fitness goals eating high fat as long as my protein is at the targets that I need and my calories are in check. And lastly, we're just gonna season to taste with salt and pepper. That is so good. Now we're just going to pour in this delicious green pesto sauce, along with a little bit of reserved pasta water for extra creaminess. And there you have it, a delicious kale pesto pasta that you made in less than 30 minutes. I'm just topping it off with the soy curls and a little bit of my homemade cashew vegan Parmesan cheese, which I will link for you guys in the description down below. Time for a taste test. So good. It hits every single time. If you like pesto, this basically just tastes like a pesto pasta, but there's that whole head of kale in there, so it's a win-win. On to the next recipe, the Mexican-inspired burritos. This is Matt's current favorite dinner that he requests all the time. The tofu is just so juicy and like chicken-like, and it's covered in vegan cheese. I mean, you just cannot go wrong with Mexican food, in my opinion. You're gonna start with 2 blocks of extra firm tofu and rip it up into little bite-sized pieces, just like that. You don't wanna fully crumble it because then there's a lot of really small crumbs that just end up getting burnt when the tofu goes into the oven. I'm just gonna add in a little bit of cornstarch just to help it get nice and crispy. Next, I'm gonna add in a little bit of this taco seasoning. This is one of my favorite life hacks, especially becoming a mom. I just feel like it makes it so easy to get a quick dinner on the table because all you have to do is pop it onto some tofu or veggies and you have a perfectly seasoned dish. Next, you're gonna gently toss your tofu, trying to not break it up too much, and then spread it out onto your wire rack or your baking sheet and just air fry that or bake in the oven until it is super, super crispy. You want it almost overcooked and dry. I'll explain why later. Next, we're gonna get started on our sauteed veggies. So I'm just chopping up a red onion and a few bell peppers here. And then I'm just gonna pan fry over medium heat. You could also just bake this in the oven with the tofu if you wanted to be more hands-off, but I just prefer the kind of charred flavor that it gets from pan frying. You're also gonna chop up your toppings. So I'm using lettuce and tomatoes here. And then we're gonna transfer those bell peppers and onions to a bowl so we can use the pan to cook the tofu. This is really where the magic happens with the tofu chicken. We made it extra crispy and dry because we're gonna put it into the pan and rehydrate it with some chicken broth. And since it's so dry, it's gonna absorb all of those delicious chicken broth flavors and just be really tender and juicy, just like real chicken would be. Just cook that over low to medium heat for a few minutes, and the broth like thickens and almost makes a sauce around the tofu, and it just makes it so tender and juicy. Then you're just gonna spread it out, cover it with some plant-based cheese, pop on a lid, and that is going to get the cheese all melty and gooey and delicious. It's time to assemble. You can add on any toppings that you'd like. I'm going with some tomatoes, lettuce. I'm also adding some pickled jalapenos because I feel like they just make everything better. Also some black or Kalamata olives, and then I'm also gonna be adding on some of this pre-made guacamole. I showed this to you guys in my recent Costco haul, and I absolutely love, love, love keeping the stuff on hand. I feel like it just makes Mexican nights so much easier and quicker not having to make my own homemade guacamole. Also, I don't know about you guys, but my toxic trait is overstuffing tortillas to the max. So in order to prevent that, I'm gonna go with these massive burrito sized tortillas. So hopefully I don't overstuff it. You could also pan fry this on all sides to give it a nice crispy char. I'm just a little bit lazy right now, so I'm just gonna eat it like this.
Can I omit my sweatpants?
No, I'm gonna add them into the video now just because you said that.
Sweatpants!
Business up top, ghetto boy on the bottom.
Wow, this looks delicious.
Cheers.
Cheers in the burrito. Cheers!
Cheers!
Mmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. As if we don't know what it tastes like already.
Fast forward, we're chewing.
We love having it in burritos, but you could also make it into like a little burrito bowl with rice or some air fried potatoes, or even make it into a salad if you don't want so many carbs. And we also make a lot for meal prep as well, so we'll probably have this for lunch the next day whenever we make it.
It's seriously good.
Yeah.
This is better than Chipotle, or like any like those takeout burritos.
Next, we're making my nut butter noodles. This is a great recipe because it is so versatile, and it helps you use up all the veggies you have in your fridge. So today I'm just using some green onions. I'm adding in a little bit of garlic, and then the veggies that I had on hand were mushrooms, bell peppers, and broccoli. So that is what I'm adding in today. While the veggies cook, I'm gonna chop up some tempeh, and I'm gonna cook the tempeh with the veggies. If you don't have tempeh on hand, you could also do some tofu, pan fried or air fried. You could do vegan chicken, you could do soy curls. You can really use whatever you have on hand. You're just gonna add your chopped tempeh to the veggies that are cooking and just mix it and cook it until everything is heated through and the veggies are nice and wilted. Then I'm going to cook my noodles according to package directions. I just strained the noodles. I'm just gonna add them on top of the veggies. And now I'm gonna add in all of the seasonings. We're gonna go in with some soy sauce, sesame oil, rice wine vinegar, a touch of maple syrup, and then I'm gonna add this Yondu hot and spicy for a little bit of heat, but you could also use sriracha if you don't have any of this. And lastly, a little bit of hoisin sauce for sweetness. I'm gonna add in the nut butter. Today I am using tahini, but you can use any nut butter you'd like. This tahini is really runny and drippy, so I can just pour this right in. But if you have peanut butter or almond butter that's really thick, I like to water it down with a little bit of water, just so it doesn't make the noodles really thick. It just gives it a much better consistency. Have a little bit of a taste and see if it needs adjusting. No. That's actually perfect. I'm just gonna plate up the noodles with some sesame seeds, some lemon or lime juice, sriracha, and a little bit of green onions. This is my go-to toppings for noodles, but you can use whatever your favorite toppings are. Bye. Okay, time for taste test. That is so good. The lemon really brings it together and gives it that nice bright zing. So I definitely wouldn't skip that. You could use lemon or lime. But I love this recipe because you can put so many different things into it. It's so versatile and you can really clear out your fridge with this recipe. That's why we make it again and again so often. That brings us to the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoy all the recipes. And if you do try them, please let me know how you like them. I love hearing how you guys get along. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.